Hello, 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 hello. How is everybody doing this evening? I hope you've all got in okay. There's just been a bomb scare in Oxford Circus, and I hope everybody is safe and well. We just need to hide under the shadow of God's protection because we really don't know. We live in some dangerous times these days, so prayer is very important. So how are we all doing? Today is Friday the 24th of November. Countdown. Just under 24th, so that's under 40 days to the end of the year. What has been happening? What have you done? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Linda Liobo. And thank you for coming to Facebook Live today. I'm a motivational speaker, life coach, and a TV presenter. Thank you for joining me this evening as we tackle this very difficult topic that somebody asked me last week that we should talk about. So I'll try my level best. I've done a little research, read a few books, and listened to a few audios, and also with life experience being a mother. Use all that and see how you and I can come to some kind of solution, or maybe even see how best we can parent our children. So while we wait for some few people to join, go grab yourself a cup of tea, go grab yourself water or whatever it is you want to drink. While we wait, I'm so excited this evening. So excited. It's not about the topic, because I know it's challenging, but I'm just excited about life in general. I'm excited. You see, when you live expectant life, doors open and things happen, and you move on. And that is how we should live. Be excited, be expectant, be joyful, be happy, love, give, share. And whatever seed that you sow, it will come back to you 100-fold. But if you haven't planted anything on the ground, nothing really will come back to you. And that's a fact of life. It's a fact of life. Guys, you want to come and say hello?
Yeah, sure.
So here, slow down a little bit, tall man. So here is Joshua. Go on, Joshua, introduce yourself.
I'm Josh. I'm 14. This is my mom. Yeah, that's it.
What year are we in? What do you like?
I draw and stuff. Go follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. That's it. So bye.
How are you enjoying school?
It's good.
And what are the challenges that you're facing at school at the moment?
Homework.
If you would like to share homework, okay. And do you feel that you're on top of it? Kinda? Okay. Well, we don't want to fall behind, do we? In this house, we don't fall behind, isn't it? Okay. And how about anything else you want to share?
Nothing off the top of my head.
You sure?
Yeah.
So if you think of something, you'll come and share?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, every day. So
All right. Love you too. So here is Emmanuel, the fashionista of the house. This is the next Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Maybe Messi, footballer. Which one?
Neymar.
So it's between Usain Bolt and Neymar. We got him here. What else?
I'm Manuel.
Introduce yourself and stand still, please.
I'm Emmanuel. I'm 12 years old. I'm sporty, and I'm good at drums. And yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, and what else? We're second in the league.
Oh, good.
In my football team.
And you enjoy football so much, isn't it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I think we're first in my school football team.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
High school?
School's going well.
And homework?
I'm on it. I'm on top.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking you guys is so people know that you do your homework.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're on top of it.
Yeah. I done it today.
You did it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anything else?
No. I'm 5 foot something. Yeah. That's it. And I'm good at basketball.
Okay, he's good at basketball. So that was Emmanuel. You guys want to come? I've got my neighbor's kids here as well. You want to come and say anything? Yeah, come on. Today is parenting day, so all the children are welcome. I've got my friend's kids here, and here we have Nerys, Angel, and her baby brother, Junior. Want to say anything, Nerys?
Hi, Junior.
Yeah, come on.
I'm Angel.
Time for you to promote yourself and say anything you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good.
Angel, 12 years old. Likes to bake cupcakes.
Yeah, I know you like big cupcakes.
Yeah.
And how can people get in touch with you if they want to buy some cupcakes? Maybe there's a birthday coming up, there's a party coming up, and somebody's thinking, oh, who can I get to bake for me some cupcakes? You specialize in cupcakes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm on Facebook, Pretty Baked Cupcakes.
Okay, Pretty Baked Cupcakes. So there is on Facebook, Pretty Baked Cupcakes. So if you want to order some cupcakes, and her cupcakes are delicious. They are delicious. In fact, if you look at the cupcakes and taste it, you would think it was baked by an older person. That is how beautiful there is here. Who's the baker? Junior, you want to say anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to say? Say hello. Say hello.
Hi, my name's Junior.
So my name is Junior.
I'm 2 years old.
This is baby brother. Okay. There you go. So you guys can come back later on again if you want to say bye.
That's good.
Okay? So there we have it. So how are we doing? Today we are talking about parenting. Parenting. Now, this is one of those very personal topic, and we will try and address it as best as we can. Like I said, I'll use my experiences and what I've read in the books and what maybe I've heard, and see how we can best help each other to be better parents. Parenting is one of those areas that is personal. And why is it personal? It's personal because people parent in different ways. And according to Professor Berman, there are 4 different styles of parenting. You have the authoritarian, and you have the authoritative, you have the permissive parent, and you have the neglectful parent. So you find which category you fall in. I think I fall under the authoritative parent. And basically the characters of an authoritative parent is warm, responsive, high expectations, supportive, value independence, performance, better social skills are the outcome, higher academic performance, less mental illness are one of the outcomes of being an authoritative parent, and lower delinquency. So which category do you fall in? If you're the authoritarian parent, then you would be unresponsive, you have strict rules, expect blind obedience, lower academic performance, less self-esteem are some of the outcomes, poorer social skills, mental illness, drug and alcohol. Hi Yasmin, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Drug and alcohol abuse and delinquency. So that's the authoritarian parent. And then we have the permissive parent. A permissive parent is warm and responsive as well. Few or no rules at all. Indulgent, lenient, egocentric. Hi, Lorraine. Thank you for joining. Outcomes are impulsive behavior, poor social skills, problematic relationships. Now, it depends really which parenting style you fall under. It's difficult being a parent. It's difficult, and there's no book out there that can actually guide you, but it's through life experiences. It's through life experiences. Hello, Dad. How you doing? Oh, Dad is joining us all the way from Uganda. So it's not easy being a parent, but it's one of those roles whereby it's challenging, but it's also rewarding, and it's fun, it's enjoyable. Hi, Dulce, thank you for joining. But it's fun, you know. Maybe you never set out to be a parent and it just happened, or you're just a guardian. So I'm talking about parents and guardians here, not only parents. So you may even be a step parent to a child, or you may be in a poor relationship, or maybe you started a relationship and you are thrown into the deep end of bringing up somebody else's child. So it all varies. It depends on the situation. So every situation is completely different, very, very different. But you've got to find the ground of how to bring the children up in the best way possible. And for me, being a Christian, I believe I rely on the guiding of the Holy Spirit to please pass your comment of anything that you feel you want to share. Feel free, because I want it to be more interactive. Okay. Being a Christian, I rely solely on the guiding of the Holy Spirit, and so many times I couldn't sit here and say that my boys are angels. Oh no, I would be lying to myself and lying to you, and I would be living in denial, because I know there's no child there that is an angel. But sometimes when they're in a situation, or maybe in the wrong group of friends, they might do things that they shouldn't really do because of peer pressure. So today we'll also be looking at peer pressure. We'll be looking at social media, and please just keep sending in your comments and your tips and how you parent as well. As a parent, I believe we need to set the foundation, because when you set the foundation, as the Word of God guides us, when you train a child the way that he should go, when he goes out there, he will not depart from it. He will remember all those things that you've taught them. He will remember all the things that you've instilled in them. And they may go wayward a little bit, which, I mean, is expected, because they're growing up, they're experiencing. So they will definitely go the other side, but it's something you need to prepare yourself for. So I wouldn't sit here and say my children are angels. No, but my husband and I try our level best. We try our level best to guide them the right way. And I believe every parent who has joined me here as well do the same, because we want the best for our children. We want to set good grounds. We want to be proud of them. At the same time, we shouldn't really hold very high expectations on them, because if you do not plant the seed from the beginning, you're not going to expect anything. It's like a parent who has neglected their child for the first maybe 18 or 20 years of their life, and then later on rejoin and think that they're going to expect something from their child. I mean, unless God changes the child, unless God works into the child, they're really expecting. Their expectation might be too high for that child. But you've got to plant the seed. You've got to lay the foundation right. You've got to discipline the child. You've got to set ground rules. You've got to be a parent and a friend and set boundaries. That is basically what we do in the house. I've got 2 boys, and it's not easy being a black boy in London. It is difficult. So we try and teach them and prepare them to know that life out there is not difficult, and it's difficult, and you don't solve things by being angry. You don't solve issues by being violent or being physical. No, You talk things over. And if a child maybe came to attack you or do something that you did not like, instead of reacting to the child, look for somebody who is in authority, who is close by, and report. And if nothing is done, then you never take the responsibility of reacting to what the child has done. Make sure the teacher or somebody, an adult, is there to help. Thank you, Noreen. So it's difficult. It is a very, very difficult role as a parent. It's challenging, very, very challenging. Thank you, Andrea. So I believe, and I keep going back to as a Christian, I believe people in this group may be of different faith. So whatever you believe in, that is where you seek your guidance from. My husband and I seek our guidance from the Holy Spirit, and that's how we guide ourselves. And we also try and let the boys engage themselves in a lot of church activities, and we pray, make sure that they get good friends that are not going to take them away from the road that God has ordained for them, but friends that will impact and actually add into their life, not take away from them. And they too should also impact their friends' lives, because it's not about taking. It's a two-way thing. You've got to give and receive. But it's better to give more. That is what we do. Now, what I wrote here was that being a parent is dependent on our upbringing as parents. It's dependent on our environment, how we grew up, the kind of family network that we had, the kind of friends that we had when we were growing up, the media. Thank God, maybe in my generation when I was growing up, the media wasn't really a big issue like now. So, but now for our young generation, oh my God, it's challenging, because every minute a child has got a phone. We got a rule in our house. You have basically, in the evening when they come back, make sure they've done their homework, then they can watch a bit of TV or maybe do something with the computer. Over the weekend as well, we've got set hours when they can play on their gadgets, but know that the fundamental of everything is education. So if you feel you're not doing the right thing, don't be so hard on yourself, because it is not easy. Being a parent is not easy. But with God, all things are possible. With God, all things are possible. As a parent, surround yourself with Christian parents, people who pray, people who can pray on your behalf and on your children as well. It really helps, because sometimes as a parent, you become so overwhelmed with maybe your child's behavior, and you don't even know how to pray for them. So it's good to have somebody who can actually back you up and say, Linda, I got your back, and we're going to stand in this together. It is very important. And watch the kind of friends that your children have as well. When I do these live videos, I always try and use myself as an example, because it will be wrong of me if I don't use myself as an example. I would be lying. So with friends, this is what we do. And the boys know from since primary. If I do not know the parent, and maybe I've never been to the parent's house, I don't feel comfortable to let my child go into that house. If I grow to know the parent and I see the product of the child that my child is having friends with, then you can start forging a relationship and get to know the parent better as well. So that you know that when your son or your daughter goes to that house, you're confident, you're comfortable, knowing that okay, nothing is going to happen. But it's difficult when you haven't actually been into somebody's house and you don't know their kind of parenting. It's difficult. It doesn't give you that peace when your child is not with you. So that is one of the things that we do. And I also believe, because growing up, it's like talk when you're spoken to, right? So any of you agree with that? You don't speak if you're not spoken to. And actually eye contact, you don't do that. So, but it's reverse. It's reverse. Now we allow our children to express themselves so that we can understand, we can engage, we can actually have a dialogue with them. There's no point when a child comes to ask you something maybe that is very sensitive and you just shut the child down. what is going to happen when next time he learns something? Who is going to run to? If you keep shutting the child down when he comes with some really challenging topic or something that is learned from school, and he really wants to discuss it with you as a parent, and so that he can understand that, okay, so this is not how it is. So it's one of those things. And I give an example, like a couple of days ago, actually, in my son's school, they were talking about LGBT. So he came and he was discussing about, or they had a talk about LGBT, because one of their teachers is one of the groups of LGBT. So in that way, we engage in a conversation so we can understand what he knows about that topic, what his views are, and then we educate in the right way. But if he had come and then I would just completely shut him down. No, you're not going to talk about this. You cannot say this. In this house, we don't talk. No. To me, I feel that is a wrong approach. That is a wrong approach. That's very true. Jennifer says that is powerful, incredibly important to know who parent is. So, like I said, you have to be a friend and a parent. You have to set a line, okay? It's a very thin line, and sometimes we cross over. But it's good to know that your children can come to you and talk to you about anything, and I mean anything. And that is how we're bringing up our boys. I want my boys to know that I can go and talk to mom about anything. I had a shock, though, I must tell you. I had a shock when they were in primary. Now, I think Emmanuel was probably in year 3. And I think they were doing some art class. And the teacher brought a Sun newspaper, and there was the word sex on it. So I'm busy cooking in the kitchen. And because usually when I'm cooking in the kitchen, the boys are there. So they can learn how to cook. I'll go on to that topic next. And then he comes and says, "Oh, mommy, what is sex?" Now, if a child comes and asks you that kind of question, please do not react. This is from experience. Do not react. Compose yourself and just let the Holy Spirit guide you and give you wisdom at that time to give the child the right answer. Now, of course, at that age, you can be blatant and very open and start telling them about this. So I said, "Oh, sex? I'm a female sex and you're a male sex." He said, "Is that it?" I said, yeah. So we have female sex and we have male sex. And he just hopped away and out of the kitchen and just laughed and played. That was the end of the conversation. So I thank God for the Holy Spirit for giving me wisdom to answer that question, because boy, if I was fair in complexion, I would have been blushing by then, but thank God I got the right answer. So be careful when children come to ask you certain sensitive information, even questions. Don't, because sometimes if you react in a negative way, then they might think you're hiding something. And usually when the boys come and ask me something, I tell them, if I don't know, I'll tell them, you know what, right now I do not have the answer, but give me time, I'll find out and, be able to tell you what the answer is. Because I have to be the first point of contact, because I do not want them to go out there and maybe they'll be misled by their friends and maybe told the wrong information. So if I don't know, I'll say I don't know, rather than giving them the wrong information. Because don't think that as a parent you know everything. No, we don't. We are learning. We are learning each and every day. We are learning each and every day. Hi, Jacinda. Nice to see you. We are learning each and every day. Hi, Ted. Oh, how are you doing? Guys, thank you so much for joining. So don't feel that because I'm a parent, so I know everything. You would be fooling yourself if you think you know everything about parenting. I'm telling you, you will be fooling yourself. Because you're learning every day. Every day your child goes to school, he spends about 8 hours in school. He's learned something, and he's going to come home and ask you with some questions, and you're going, "Oh, where did this come from?" But you've got to be prepared with the right answers. You've got to be prepared. You've got to be prepared. And if you don't know, please say, "I don't know." Honesty, integrity is very important as a parent, because you're the role model. They're watching you. Everything that you do, everything that you say, they're watching you. Now, the next thing is about words that we speak. Words that we speak. Please be very careful. Be very, very, and I'm stressing this point, be very careful. Sometimes maybe in anger or frustration, you just blurt out words to a child. And it's going to stick here. Words like, you're stupid, you're no good, you're this, you're that, you're this. And maybe you're in a relationship where you've separated from your partner. You start comparing the child to the dad. It is wrong. Stop. Don't do it. Do not do it. It is very, very wrong and very damaging, because you will pay for it later on. I can assure you, you will pay for it. Speak positive words. Speak affirmative words. Encourage your child. Encourage your child, because they need it. If a child does not get that confidence from you as a parent, they're going to look for that confidence out there, and they're going to get the wrong one. Learn to acknowledge your child's achievement. If there's an area that they're weak in, sit down, talk about it, and see how you can, deal with it. Because we all have our weaknesses, we all have our strength. And if you've identified the area that your child is strong at, nurture it. If it's an area that is weak at, try and find solution to it. Try and find solution to how you can help that child. But in no way, please, put your child down or speak anything negative, because it's going to stick here. It's going to stick here. For a very long time, there were times when I was very, very young. Like I said, everything that I'm sharing with you here is things that I've experienced for a very long time. My mom would call us names, and it still sticks. But I had to develop the mindset to know that I am better than what I'm being called. And damn right, I know I'm better. I know I am. So please, words, watch how you speak. Watch how you speak to your child. And about even friends, sometimes you might be in the car and somebody might call you. You start talking about a friend in the car. The child is listening in the back seat. Next time they see this auntie or this uncle, oh, Mommy, isn't that the uncle or the auntie you were talking about? Stop it. It's not good. Gossiping is for idle minds. It's for idle minds. If your mind is active and you're actually working towards achieving your goals, you don't have time for such things. Another thing I wanted to touch on is involving our children in things that we do, so that they can learn early. Like I said, when I'm cooking, I try and invite the boys to come in the kitchen and watch what I'm cooking. They always ask, oh, Mommy, what seasoning is this you're using? Oh, Mommy, how do you prepare this? Oh, Mommy, when you cut onion, where does... they ask all sorts of questions, but they're learning. Right now, I am so confident Joshua can at least season beef. He can season the chicken. He can put it in the oven. He can make his apple pie from scratch. He can he likes his dessert, so he can make his dessert from scratch. He's going to be the next Michelin chef in this house. So, but because he's been watching and he's got the desire as well to learn, the same thing as well with Manu. So you teach them from a young age. You teach them how to make their beds. You teach them how to cook simple food that they're not going to burn down the house. Simple stuff. You let them, give them chores in the house. The boys have chores in the house. They know every Saturday the windowsill has got to be cleaned. The cupboards in the kitchen has got to be cleaned. The doors in the house have got to be cleaned. So that is their chores. If children grow up without chores, they're going to grow up to be lazy and thinking that, oh, Mom and Dad are going to do everything. That's very true. Noreen says also it confuses kids when you talk ill of someone, then you are the happiest when you see them. Absolutely, it's confusing. The child is completely confused and thinking, 1 minute, Mom and Dad are talking about this person, and then the next minute, they are all happy and jolly when they see the person. It's wrong. It's confusing. Like I said before in the beginning, nobody is perfect when it comes to parenting, but we learn from each other and we try our level best to be the best that we can. You may not have had the best childhood, but you do not want to pass that same kind of experience to your child. You would want your child to experience a different kind of life. Maybe you grew up, you grew up from never hearing your mom saying I love you, or hugging you, or encouraging you, or saying positive affirmative words. You can change that. You can change that and encourage your child. So everything is about developing mindsets and actually having the will to say that I want to do things differently. How are we doing, guys? Talk to me. How are we doing? Have you identified which parenting styles you fall under? The authoritarian, authoritative, permissive, or neglectful? So which parenting styles do you actually fall under? Or do you practice? Now, peer pressure. Peer pressure is one of those things that our children are going through. And sometimes we really do not know how to deal with it. It is hard out there for children. It is hard because they always work in progress. In honesty, I fall each of the buckets. Jennifer, we all do. We all do. Don't feel bad, darling. We all do. But we strive. We strive every day to be better parents. We do try. We do try. Peer pressure. How do you deal with peer pressure? How do you as a parent deal with peer pressure? Maybe you don't have children yet and you're planning to have children. So this is a topic that is preparing you. So at least you know what you're going to be getting into. So tell me, how do you deal with peer pressure? Because that is one area that I struggle with. But what we try to do is affirm the boys and let them know that they should try their level best, not to be pressured into doing anything that they know they're not supposed to. Yes, they might do it, but as parents, we try. Like I use the word try. I'm going to use the word try so many times. We can only try our level best to guide our children in the right way. In the right way. That's all we can do. And we believe that by us building the right foundation, when that pressure comes, they will be able to know what to do. They will be able to step back. They'll be able to come back and say, Mom, you know what? I'm experiencing this. How do I deal with it? And you sit down and talk about it. Because you don't want your child to come back from school and not sure of what to do. And because you're the kind of parent that you don't really engage with your children a lot, you don't have time to talk to them. I know we all work and it's stressful, but it's important that we try and spend time with our children so we get to know them. We get to know them better, and so we can actually bring them up in a better way, because then we'll be able to understand, engage what they're like, you know. Everything is just a matter of trial and error, and you will find your right path. You will find it. It's very important that you engage with the right friends. I already said that. It's very important that you engage with the right friends. You as a parent as well. It's very important, because the children are watching you. They don't have, yes, they might have role models who are footballers or sportsmen or whatever it is out there, but you are the main role model. And if it's hard, seek guidance, seek help. Seek guidance and seek help. It's very important. Another thing that with parenting is how we split our time. Sometimes it's very difficult, especially when you are cohabiting. I mean, co-parenting, sorry, not cohabiting, co-parenting. I watched a video a couple of days ago whereby this man got married into a relationship with this lady who already had grown-up children. And because the gentleman was not there at the beginning when the children were born, by the time him and this lady got together, the eldest was 12 years old, so it was a teenager. The youngest was 9. And him coming in and trying to discipline these children or trying to be the father figure in the house was challenging for the children. How do you deal with that? Because that is one of the problems that people have. How do you deal with it? I don't have any experience in that, but I believe if someone is in that kind of experience, it's always good you as the mother and the father sit down and talk so that you know if you accept that this stepfather can discipline your children, then that is fine. But if every time the stepfather wants to discipline the children and you're putting your hands up and saying, no, don't do it, then you're sending a very mixed message to the children, because then they're going to disrespect. They are going to disrespect the stepfather, and you do not want that. Otherwise, you wouldn't have got into the relationship with them, with that person. So gauge and see how things happen. And maybe if you're still co-parenting as well, don't talk anything negative if you're split up. It might have been a very bad split, it might have been a very bad separation or divorce, but try not to involve the children in. Try not to involve the children in. I can imagine it's a very difficult situation, but it's one of those things that you need to step back and say, okay, am I doing this for me or am I doing this for my child? Let the child have the relationship with their parent, with the stepdad or stepmom. It's very important for the child. Sometimes when I watch the boys playing with their dad, I'm kind of envious because I didn't grow up with a dad, so I wouldn't even know how to react. I remember there was a time when I was just feeling so low, and I remember telling my husband, I was like, you know what, I wish I had a dad. Sometimes it's just good to go and talk to a dad so you can get that fatherly advice, you know. And he looked at me like I was speaking French because he grew up with both parents. So when I see the boys interacting with their dad, I'm happy. And I'm trying to learn how they interact, you know. I know I will never be able to experience that, but I have to give that to my children. So even though you're separated, try and give that to your child so that they don't grow up later on and regretting, and or maybe even you regretting and saying, I wish I hadn't done that. You know, I wish I hadn't. But that is life. How are we doing, guys? Are you learning anything? So far, have you learned anything? Have we discussed anything that you felt is going to help you or help us in general? Yeah? Good. Another thing is also raising up children to take responsibility. Children have got to take responsibility. They have got to be accountable for their actions. They have got to, oh, thank you, Nori, thank you. They have got to learn not to react to situations all the time or every time if anything happens. They have got to learn to compose themselves. Building a child's character is very important. I give an example. I think probably about maybe 3 or 4 months ago, Josh was in the library. That's my eldest, was in the library reading, preparing for his exams. And one of the year 7s, Josh was in year 9. One of the year 7s was in the library as well, and they were making noise. So Joshua tried to tell them to stop, and I think they were pronouncing his surname wrong. And Joshua didn't like it, of course. Oh, you're wonderful. You're most welcome. You are most welcome. Daughter, you're most welcome. And so this year 7 kind of, I think, stepped on him And because he was trying to concentrate for his exams, he was in the library because he went early in the library. So he reacted to the child and something which he knows he shouldn't have. And I'm not giving an excuse because I do not give excuse for my children. I don't. If they did something wrong, they deserve discipline, or I hear them, and then we sit down and discuss. So he reacted, and it ended up with the head teacher. And I think both of them got a detention or something like that. So when Joshua came back home, we had to have a chat. We sat down. I said, Joshua, okay, what happened? He told me, he said, Mommy, I was trying to revise in the library, and this child was just pronouncing my name wrong, and they were disturbing me, and so I couldn't concentrate. I said, did you go and speak to the librarian? He said, Mom, I couldn't see the librarian in the library, so I could not report to anyone. I said, okay, even though he wasn't there, you shouldn't have reacted the way you reacted. Maybe you were a little bit under pressure because of your exams, but this is one behavior that I do not want to see repeated. He understood, he apologized, and he said, Mommy, I know I shouldn't have done it, but I don't know what happened, but I did. He learned from it. Why? Because we sat down, we discussed it, and we got a solution to it. And he knows that next time if anything like that happened, go and speak to a teacher or whoever it is in authority so that they can be able to solve the problem. Because the law in this country is, even though somebody came and poked me in the head, if no one saw it and I reacted, but they saw me actually throwing the punch, I will be in the wrong. So that is how we should try and bring up our children. And like I said before, I've got 2 young black boys whom we are trying to bring up to be God-fearing, to be respectful, to be obedient, humble, and just know that life out there is not easy, but it's not good to react. It's not good to react to every situation. I always tell them, I say, for you to withdraw yourself from a fight, you have got to have a very, very strong willpower. Because it is so easy for me to just slap somebody or smack somebody. It's easy. But for me to actually pull myself back and not say a word, which I think might be a negative word, or not slap somebody or do whatever it is, it's very, very difficult. And that is what we try to instill in the children. And I hope you'll do the same as well. Because violence doesn't solve problems. It doesn't. It does not solve problems. If anything, it just escalates the problem and it makes the situation even worse. It does. It does make it worse, and then you will now be labeled as the child that is always causing problem in school, the child that is always causing problem in any club, or the child that is always doing this. So it's difficult. Parenting is not easy. Oh boy, it's not easy. It is not easy at all. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you guys feel we should talk about regarding parenting? Is there anything that we need to touch on that we haven't? Yeah, role modeling is right. Jennifer is very, very right. The first person that our children see is us. The first person that they see. Oh boy, there are some times that I wanted to do things right, but because I was tired, I was frustrated, and I reacted the wrong way, and I felt guilty the whole night, and I'm like, oh gosh, I shouldn't have done that. You know, we try our level best as parents to be the best role model that we can, but we fall short of it all the time. We do fall short of it. But it's also sitting down with the child and making them understand, yeah, different parenting styles. Jennifer, that's right. Different parenting styles. That is a big conflict, a big, big conflict, because you might be in a relationship where you are the authoritative parent, and then the other one is the permissive one, who just anything just goes with the child. And you're trying to set rules and set rules in the house, and the partner is like, oh no, leave the child alone, don't do that, don't do this. And it's conflicting. You're sending wrong messages to the child, and the child is going to, one way or the other, child is going to disrespect one of the parents. That is usually what happens. So you have to come to a common ground, and try and say, you know what, this is what we do when these kind of things arise. Or if it arises and you haven't discussed it, put yourself and go in the bedroom and talk about it. I know there are times maybe when things have happened and Nick and I have discussed it in front of the children. I'm like, oh gosh, I shouldn't have done that. But hey, like I said, we fall short all the time, you know. But we are learning. We are learning each and every day. We are learning each and every day. And if I sat here and didn't acknowledge my flaws, then I would be lying to you. I would be lying to you. I'm not perfect. But we try our best, isn't it? We try our best to say that I want to be the best parent that I can. I want to be the best role model for my children that I can. You know, and that is all that we can do. That is all that we can do. Anything else, guys? Talk to me, talk to me. Building relationship with the children actually gives them more confidence. Okay, it boosts their confidence in knowing that because if you're always praising the child and affirming them and just having that nice loving relationship, a child will grow up with a lot of confidence. They will grow up with a lot of confidence in them and say, okay, yes, I can do this. But if you keep putting the child down, the same thing with an adult. You see, if every time somebody keeps putting you down and keeps saying negative things about you, you're not going to feel confident about yourself. Okay, you're going to feel less and say, what is wrong with me? Why do they keep saying this about me? Why do they keep talking about this? Why do they keep calling me names? Why do they keep doing that? But we want to try and bring our children up the best way that we can with the guidance of the Holy Spirit, the best way that we can. If you're sitting there and saying, oh, I can do it by myself, yes, I know everything how to do, good luck. And good luck to you. But I couldn't do it by myself. I need guidance. I need somebody to guide me. You know, and I don't know whether you guys do it, but because I've got boys, sometimes I talk to parents who have boys and see how they're parenting. Another person that I talk to more often is my mother-in-law. Oh, she's a sweet, beautiful woman. I call her all the way to Uganda to ask her for some advice because why? She's raised 4 boys. 4 boys, so at least she can give me some tips on what to do. We might be in a different part of the world, but you know, she will give me some wisdom nuggets to use. And that is one of the people that I use. And sometimes I talk to my mom as well in the US, you know, call her, said, Mom, please, I need help with this. And, you know, you've got to seek help. If you just sit in the house and say, oh, I know it all. No, you're fooling yourself and you're lying to yourself. You have got to seek help where you know you're falling short. And the help is out there if you actually ask for it. You know, building confidence in our children. Another thing is hygiene. Hygiene is very important. You do not want your child going to school and always looking shabby. The shirt is not ironed. The shirt is not washed. The blazer is dirty. The shoes are not polished. What does that tell you as a parent? What does that tell you as a parent? When somebody looks at the child, they're going to look at you and wonder, what is wrong with that child? Did they come out of home or what? Did they sleep on the streets? We try. You have to try. The boys know they have to polish their shoes every day. When they come back from school, they have to hang their blazer and their trousers, fold it away. We show them how to fold their trousers. I cannot be doing everything for them. They are 14 and 12, turning 13. They have got to learn how to do things. Fold their trousers. If it's clean and the blazer, hang it in the wardrobe. Every Wednesday, they change their shirts. So they wear the shirt for 2 days, change it on a Wednesday, and then wear it for Thursday, Friday. Change it. They help with the laundry in the house as well. So they know how to sort out clothes, whites, non-whites, and blacks. Noreen says, hygiene, honestly, I see some children on the bus and I wonder where. That's very true, Noreen. It's very, very true. Because the parents maybe left home very early. They had to go to work and they've left the children at home and the children have to fend for themselves. I'm not saying that it's wrong to work. No. But setting the discipline from the beginning is very important. Letting the child know that, okay, this is how you iron your shirt. I started teaching the boys when probably from the age of 8, how to iron. Well, they don't iron as the way you want, but at least they are trying, they are practicing, they are practicing. So everything you start, little by little, one step at a time, they practice, they practice, they practice, But if you don't actually set or practice with them or show them how to do it, the child is going to walk out of the house, going to school, the hair is not combed, the trouser is down here, and the boys know they wouldn't do that in this house anyway. There's no way you're going to get out of the house looking that way. No way. So those are the kind of things I don't really worry about. So because they know, yeah, that's it. Mine irons his collar only. I like that. So he's comfortable just ironing the collar. Doreen, you know what? You just have to keep training him. He will get it. Next time, you'll be surprised if we just actually iron the whole shirt. So just keep practicing. That is very good. So you practice, you start young. There was a time I watched a program, and this 18-year-old, it was some program on BBC, I can't remember what the topic was, some program on BBC, and this 18-year-old didn't know how to boil an egg, not even to cook pasta or make his bed. I'm like, really? For how long are you as a parent going to take care of this child? For how long? For how long are you as a parent going to take care of this child? And another thing as well for parents who have daughters, are you teaching your daughter how to cook? Are you teaching your daughter the chores that they need to do in the house? Are you teaching your daughters how to be respectful? When you were growing up and you went to greet an elder, oh, God have mercy if you even stood and greeted the elder without kneeling down. But now you see girls just walking in. Sometimes they don't even greet you. In fact, they don't even kneel down to greet. If I had girls, I'm sure I would still instill those same values that I was brought up with. Because it's just nice, when you see, as a parent, you see another child who's being brought up in the right way and doing the right things. You as an observer, you feel happy, like, gosh, this mother or this father is doing a fabulous job. But you do not want somebody to look at your child and think, what is going on with this? I think they need help. And if you need help, please go and look for help. Don't sit in your house worried. Don't sit in your house frustrated, and don't sit in your house thinking, oh gosh, I don't want people to talk about me. People are already talking. People are already seeing what is happening. Go and seek help with the right people. There's help out there. Feel free to go and talk to somebody whom you can trust and see how you can get help. Because like I said, we are not perfect. We are work in progress. Every day we are work in progress. And if you're open and willing to learn as a parent, you will be a better parent. But if you shut yourself down and say, you know what, I really cannot be bothered with this. I really cannot do this. Oh, I really, it's not nice. It's not nice at all. What else? We've talked about insecurity, hygiene. What else do we need to cover? Taking responsibility, doing chores in the house, building the right character. Nowadays, they just say hello, and I wonder what. It's true. It's very true. How I deal with that is, instead of maybe talking to the child, I will talk to the parent. If I'm close to the parent and we have a good relationship, you just have a chat with the parent, and you see if they're the kind of parent that would want to learn and want better for their children, then they'll listen to you. If they're the kind of parent that will say, Linda, next time my child does that, please tell them off. They say it takes a community to raise a child. It takes a community to raise a child, but unfortunately we live in a society whereby that does not happen. But still we can forge that relationship with the kind of people that we have. We can still do it. We can still do it. I give an example. There are a couple of boys, our neighbors here, and these boys came to London probably about 6 or 5 years ago. But I started seeing a change in them, and every day I would talk to them. I'm like, why do you dress up this way with your pants all the way down here? You're going to school, you're listening to loud music, your hair is not combed and you've tied your head with a bandana, you don't even have a school bag. So where are you going? Are you going to school or you're just walking around? And he said, no, I'm going to school. That happened for about a week. I didn't see any change. But I'm the kind of person that I won't give up. He may not be my child, but I want the same thing. If my child was misbehaving or doing something out on the street, I would want somebody to stop and correct them. I've been talking to these boys and I'm beginning to see a change in them. I'm beginning to see a change. And all it boils down to the kind of friends they were hanging around with. These are boys who are maybe, now they are probably 18 and 16. So the kind of friends they were hanging around with, peer pressure, and thinking that, oh, if I listen to loud music, if I wear pants down here, then I'm cool. No, you're not cool. You're not cool. In fact, I gave him one example. I said, imagine if there was somebody driving and looking for setting up an apprenticeship, and he's looking for young boys to come and work for him. And he looks at you, there is no way he's going to give you that job because you haven't presented yourself well. You haven't. Because the person will be thinking, why would I want to employ this person in my company? He cannot even take care of himself. How is he going to be able to take care of my company if I give him any kind of responsibility? So those are some of the things you do. I know sometimes it's difficult, but we can only try. Guys, you know what? We can only try. How are we doing? How are we doing? Keep practicing. Don't give up. Be hopeful. Be expectant. Be firm. But at the same time, encourage to develop your child. Engage. Have a discussion. Have a dialogue. Give the child a chance to speak so that they can actually air their views so you can understand and be able to advise them. Don't just shut the child down. Thank you for your candid and honest perspective. It takes strength of character to do what you're doing. We are very fortunate to have you. You are most welcome. You are most welcome, Jenny. You're most welcome. Thank you. Thank you. And Noreen says, we did a workshop on parenting teens. Someone let her son pierce his ears and was not happy when I told her son it wasn't right. It's because she doesn't know any better, Noreen. She doesn't know any better. And I will plan to do a workshop in the new year. I will plan to do a workshop on parenting the new year for teens especially. You see, sometimes I feel when parents are in denial, when you try to point out something negative about what the child is doing and they're in denial, they do not know any better. That's what I think. They do not know any better, because if they did, then they would be more open and more acceptant to say, oh, so that is what it is. No problem. I will go and, try and deal with it. But if they're very defensive and already building a wall, then you just have to pray for that person and hope that they will change. Yet there are some parents who like their children to pierce their ears. That is a choice. It's an individual choice. There are some parents who like their boys to plait their hair. It's an individual choice. We cannot change that. But there are certain things that it's just maybe not right. It's just not right. I think it was just in the news, isn't it? They're telling teachers not to call him he or she, something like that. It's supposed to be it. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this is in the media at the moment. So I'm wondering, they're even confusing the children more. There is a girl and a boy, a she and a he. How can somebody be called it? But you know what? I believe and I know that the God we serve will reign and will help us to bring up our children the right way. Seek help if you need help. You can message me privately and we can have a chat. Everything that I've shared with you are things that I do, because if I didn't share with you what I did, then I wouldn't be talking out of experience. And to show you that my children are not perfect. They are not perfect. They're not. They're not perfect. But we are raising them up in the right way and trying to, you know, guide them so they can, you know, be better men and grow up to be God-fearing children. So in closing, these are the 3 points that I picked up when I was watching a program on parenting by T.D. Jakes. He says, oh, sorry, I took the wrong one. Hold on. Yeah. He said, what we sow into our children, we will definitely reap. As parents or expectant parents, what are you sowing into your child right now? Because if you're not sowing anything into your child that is productive, do not expect anything. You cannot plant an apple tree and expect an orange. It can't happen. What are you sowing into your child right now? If you don't know what it is, sit down and find out. If you need help in how to parent, I'm not saying I have a degree in parenting. Sorry. I don't, but it's just through life experience. The next one is never expect a big return, which ties into sowing. Never expect a big return from your child when you have made very little deposit. You know, it's like going to the cash point and all you have there is £100 and you're expecting to withdraw £1,000. How silly is that? How silly is that? Unless it's a miracle that is going to happen, that all of a sudden there's going to be some kind of lump sum money in your account, then yes, you can withdraw it. But if you haven't put anything in there, do not expect much from that child. There was a program that a mother had a son and she separated from her partner, and the mom got into drinking, into drugs. The child was left at his own device. He started also drinking and smoking. By the age of 15, he had stabbed somebody. By the age of 18, he was in and out of prison. He ended up staying in prison for over 30 years. And when he was released, unfortunately entered into some robbery or whatever it is and died. Now that child could only change if the mother or somebody else intervened to deposit something positive into that child. So as a parent, don't only look at your children, or your biological children, but look at the children around you. What kind of impact can you give to a child? Because children out there are lost and they need guidance. They need support. And we have to be there for them. We have to be there for them. So don't only limit your parenting to your children within, you know, your biological children or your adopted children. Extend the love to whoever that you can. Leave a legacy, you know. Speak something positive into a child's life. Another life lesson is that never let outside influence how your children see them. Never let outside influence make, I think I missed the word here, on how your children see themselves. If your children are modeling themselves on watching all these football stars or YouTube or all these rich kids and other children out there, they're going to have a different kind of mentality. You have got to start the groundwork from the home in how a child sees themselves. Let your child grow up to know that I am handsome, I am beautiful, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I am an overcomer, you know. I can do this, I can do that. Make your child know that and speak words. What I do in the boys' bedroom, I keep sticking. Anytime I come through a scripture or a message or something, print it out and pocket it in the bedroom. And they're like, every time they're like, Mommy, we don't have space. And I said, no problem. I keep changing. I keep alternating. Because the more they read, it will stick in their subconscious. They're reading positive messages. They're reading positive messages because it's right in front of them. As they open the wardrobe, there's a sticker in there with some word for them to read. On their wall, I put a sticker there for them to read. In the bathroom, I put a sticker there for them to read. On the fridge door, there's something there for them to read. So they're surrounded by positive, affirmative words that makes them feel more confident about themselves. That makes them feel and say, you know what, regardless of everything else, I'm going to make it. And the last point is listening and speaking skills must coexist. Don't only speak to a child. Give the child a chance to speak. The child is not wood or furniture. Even the wood won't be able to listen to you, you know. So you have got to give the child a chance to speak, the child to express themselves. When I was growing up, we were not given that chance. And that limits you. But we are in a different environment and we know better. So we have got to do things differently. We have got to do things differently because we know better. We are in the 21st century. You cannot start behaving like you're still in the 17th century. No, you cannot do that. You should adapt. You should give way. You should learn. You should interact, you know, give love. You can buy every kind of toy, every kind of gadget, every kind of thing to a child. But the most thing that you will remember, oh, you know what, Mom and Dad were there when I was playing football. Mom and Dad were there when I was doing my match. Mom and Dad were there when we played this. Oh, we played Scrabble with Mom and Dad. We did this, we did this. Those are the little things that the child will remember. All these gadgets they'll play. If I tell you, the boys now don't even some of the gadgets they don't play for it. Now they're given a long Christmas list for the new gadgets that they want. Those are things that have gone past. But those are the kind of emotional attachment that you want for your child because they will remember it. God forbid you should die tomorrow. They will sit at least crying over your grave and say, oh, you know what, I really miss Mom and Dad. If Mom was here or Dad was here, maybe we could do this, we would be doing this, we would be doing that. Those are the kind of memories that you want to live with your children. I'm not saying don't buy them gifts, but at the same time, love is very, very important. A child who is loved will excel in anything that they will do. They will excel because they know that when they come home, they are feeling loved. Beloved, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure having you here, and I thank you so much for taking the time to be with me this evening. Before you go, I have an event coming up on the 2nd of December. I'll put it on my Facebook link. If you can come, I'll be one of the speakers there. If you can come, it's called Women Like Me Business Expo. And if you're in any business and you want to promote your business, go on the link, click and register. It will be nice to see some familiar faces, you know, in the audience. And also, I've got some things coming up in the new year. Some things coming up in the new year. God is opening amazing, amazing doors. You know, it's fabulous. And also try and tune on to Sky Channel 238 because I have a slot in there that I do interviews and I do presenting as well. So spread the word and thank you so much for your support. So what topic do you want us to discuss next week? We might not do it next week, Friday, maybe the Friday after. What topics can you suggest that you would like us to discuss? Because I could come up with a topic, but it might not be something that resonates with you. So I would prefer if you give me a few topics and then we can decide on which one to talk about. What would you like to discuss? And remember, we're coming to the end of 2017. I hope you've set yourself goals and you're taking them. I hope and I pray that your dreams will come alive. Set goals that you can achieve. Aim high. Relationships. Okay, Doreen wants to talk about relationships. Sure. Education. Okay. Let me write that down. So relationship. And I'll try and bring some people next time. This was such short notice, I couldn't really bring anybody. Education. Anything else? Health and well-being. Yep. So we've got relationships, we've got education, and we've got health and well-being. Anything else, guys? Okay, so we are going to round up, like I said, money management, okay? If you feel you needed more support, please inbox me and we can have a chat, okay? If there was anything that I didn't cover with regards to parenting, please feel free to post and share your views. And we have to support each other. You know, when it comes to everything, we have to support each other. The more you give, the more you receive. So I'll put a link up for the event coming up on the 2nd of December. If you can come, I would love it for you guys to come and support. And also, don't forget to watch Sky Channel 238, Ben TV. I do have a slot in there, do TV presenting. And also, in the new year, there's going to be some change. There's some things coming up, guys. So keep your ears open. All right. Thank you so much, guys. So if there's nothing else, I wish you all the best. God bless you. And strive to be a good parent. Set your goals for 2018. Stop procrastinating. Stop blaming. Stop complaining. Be positive. Hang around with like-minded people. Seek help. If you're not sure about something, ask. And be positive. Be expectant. Okay? And that is how I live my life. That is how we rock. Okay? God bless you all. Guys, come and say bye-bye. Come say bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Pretty Madam is already in his PJs.
Thanks for listening to my mom. Bye.
There's Emmanuel and Joshua. Where's Nerissa?
She's going now. I'm going to help her.
Okay. All right. Joshua, go help them, please. Come and say bye-bye. And here's Nerissa as well.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Remember, you want to promote your cake as well?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Go to Messy Bake Cupcakes on Facebook.
Okay. So Nerissa bakes nice, lovely cupcakes, by the way. So it's called Pretty Baked Cupcakes. Pretty Baked Cupcakes on Facebook if you want to order some cakes from her. This little beautiful 12-year-old. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. How's your feeling? Is feeling okay? Yeah. Good. Okay, guys. So that's it for tonight. Thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend. Be positive, remember. Strive to be the best. Strive to be the best. Ask, knock, seek, and the door will surely open. It will open. Because I know you have greatness in you. You were born for a purpose. And you have got to achieve that purpose. You have got to achieve and walk in that purpose. You have got to do it. You were born. There is something that you've got to do here on earth. Don't let it go. There's something that you were born with that you need to do. Stop procrastinating. Go out there and get it. Shut your ears to naysayers. Shut your ears to naysayers. If anyone comes to you and starts to put you down, excuse yourself from them and just move away. Because you don't want that kind of people around you. You don't want them to pull you down. Hang around people who will lift you up. People who see the best in you. People who will encourage you. Like moi, right? I couldn't have done it if I didn't get help. So guys, lovely. All the best from Linda Myobo. God bless you all. Thank you.